Hey, everybody, it's Chris Elmore with another edition of the Service Contractor Radio Show brought to you by Service Excellence Training, where we turn learning into earning. And today, as you can see if you're watching the video and if you can read the board, Jack is here.
Jack is here.
The one and only Jack Arnold. So we've done some update stuff with Jack before. So today we're going to catch up with Jack. We're going to he's going to be our client profile. You'll see that coming up. So without further ado, we'll get started.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, Jack.
Hey, Chris.
So, yeah, figured Jack's going to be here. Let's do a podcast with Jack.
Yeah, video podcast on top of it.
Yeah, because come over here, scoot away in the middle here so everybody can get a good look at. No, just I don't want you to move closer. I was just like lean in so people can see what you look like. There's Jack. And I know what you're already thinking. It's not Chris Elliott, the comedian.
Don Wiganowski. Actually, somebody.
Who's Don Wiganowski?
Chris Elliott in Something About Mary.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes.
I go to check my bag at the airport today, and I'm like, oh, hey, Happy New Year. You know, real friendly with the lady. And she goes, you look like an actor. She brought that up.
People do that to me all the time. They say that, yeah, they do. They say, oh, God, I know you from somewhere. You've been in a lot of movies. Oh, what's your name? Tom Cruise? Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
They think
that,
that I'm Tom Cruise. So anyway, so Jack is in town because I guess it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's the second year. So I guess it's a thing.
Yeah.
He came in November last year.
Or
2018.
Yep, exactly.
And he's here now.
Yep.
Just after New Year. And we're going to do some rock star planning.
Yeah.
For
I like being
Arnold
on
Electric
site and being in person. And I like being away from my office too, because I can be more focused here. So.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're here. We might go.
Glad to be here.
We're in Texas, and it is hunting season. And if regular listeners to the podcast know that me and Chris, we hunt, and Terry Barrett, we can't go through a podcast without mentioning Mr. T-Bear, Terry Barrett. So shout out to T-Bear. T-Bear hates hunting, but we hunt. So we're going to take Jack out, and he's going to get to shoot some guns and maybe take out a few piggies.
Yeah, I can't
maybe
wait.
A few ducks.
Saw that picture you sent us. I was showing my team that.
Oh yeah, the mama with all the little babies. Got to get rid of those things, man. They're very destructive. So let's do this. So why don't we start by catching some people up? Oh, by the way, we can't forget to shout out to Jesse Olson at the Happy Outlet.
Yeah, what's up, Jesse? How you doing, man?
What's up, Jesse? You need to start coming to this. So next year, Jesse, you're in.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Just electricians.
All right.
Anyway, so Jack, tell everybody who you are, where your business is, maybe give just a little bit of history on your business and maybe how you got into the electrical industry and then maybe a little bit on your business.
Yeah, I mean, so I've been doing electrical work for the last 20 years. My dad owned his own electrical contracting company, and he dissolved it when I was a sophomore in high school and then went to work for somebody else, retired with that company after 17 years. My older brother's an electrician. I got into a 5-year apprenticeship program right when I got out of high school. So that was like a 5-year apprenticeship program. Topped out in 2006 as a journeyman electrician. And then I started my company in 2008. So work was slow and I was still kind of working for another contractor, but trying to tapped into some of my dad's old clients.
Yeah, and Jack has, I think we got a picture we included with one of the blogs on you in the past. And Jack has a desk, and behind his desk is a big built-in cabinet with there's kind of shelves across the top and down the side. In the middle, it's kind of open, and you've got a jacket from your dad's old company in there, right?
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah, kind of like in a shadow box. So I started in 2008, and just I figured I could figure it out and do it better. And I remember going to an owner of mine when I was an apprentice, telling him that I wanted more, and I wasn't really taking up on the opportunity, so I wanted to give it a shot on my own. And so we were a time and material company for quite a few years, and I was getting ready to shut my doors, went and sat with a
Well, hold on. The thing that some of you may remember and hearing Jack before was Jack was going to shut his business down and go fuel airplanes at O'Hare Airport.
Yep. I had a buddy that he was an out of work iron worker, and he goes, "Oh man, I got a job at the airport, and I'm like a manager now." And it's like, "Oh, okay, so like I could probably do pretty good there, and I wouldn't have to think about all the stresses that go along with business, and I would just show up and pump gas and put my time in, go home and hang out with my family." And I'm glad I never went that route.
Yeah.
You know, so I was actually I got hooked up with you guys, following you guys like on Facebook and stuff like that. And kind of before that even started, I went and sat with, Mike Goody. You've talked to him a little bit. So he,
you said him, and then you said there was a HVAC company you talked to as well, right?
Top Line HVAC. Actually,
they don't sponsor the podcast, but they could.
Yeah. They could now.
They could.
Oh, they're good guys. And,
so we've talked several times on, you found us and all that kind of stuff. And so a lot of the good stuff that happened. I don't want to focus. I mean, we did good stuff, but
the high eye in me can't keep a long story short.
No, it's okay. No. What I was going to say is that one of the things that we like to do is present the real story about things, not just all the unicorns and rainbows and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so, you struggled for 9 years in your business and were burnt out. Yep. And I
absolutely,
for all the businesses I've seen, which is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of businesses all over North America, UK, as many as I've seen, I haven't worked with all of them, but I've had an opportunity to see them. And I would say that the majority of the people in those businesses get to that point somewhere in their career, I guess, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. Right.
Yeah.
And there's lots of opportunities out there. There's lots of ways to get help and, do things in your business. And you chose us, but I want to focus more on you, not us.
Yeah. Right. Okay? Right.
So when people hear about, oh, Jack started working with a consultant, or you might know somebody that started working with a consultant, the assumption is that it's real easy. It's not real easy. I mean,
it's not.
But you work with me, Jack. It's not.
I do work with you.
It's not real easy.
It's okay. So being an electrician, you get physically exhausted at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Being a boss and working with a guy like you is like, it's a mental challenge at the end of the day. Like going, not in a good way, in a good way. I don't mean that.
There's people that know me going, yeah, Jack gets it. He understands. I know what you mean. And no, I appreciate that. But and that, I've told you many times, I mean, well, you've got big dreams.
I do have big dreams.
You're a big dreamer.
I am.
And we had a goal this year of getting to 2 million. Not there yet.
No.
But we'll blow that away in 2020 for sure. But it didn't, that's one of the things Todd and I just did a podcast last week on resolutions and why people don't hit those resolutions sometimes or don't keep them. And then if you set a target, and you don't hit it necessarily, like Todd was talking about a weightlifting target that he didn't hit, but looking back, he could see all the progress and all the new things he started doing and the ways his life changed or his weightlifting changed to do that. And I would say that is the success story of Arnold Electric and Jack Arnold. It's not, okay, when you started, you were doing what, 720, 730?
Yeah.
730,000?
Yeah. And making no money.
None. I mean, and then, you had some debt.
Yep.
And then I think we broke $1 million in 2018 for sure.
Yeah. Just over 1.4.
Okay. And this year, just over how much? 1.8?
We're like 1.7.
1.7. Okay. Because I knew we were getting close.
Yeah.
So not quite at the 2 million mark.
Yep.
But talk about what it's been like in terms of the effect it's had on you personally and your family and those kind of things. And listen, everybody knows that we're great, Jack.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but I want to hear the Jack part of it, not the Jack and service excellence part of it.
Yeah. I mean, just my quality life is dramatically improved.
Do you work less?
I do.
Is it dramatically less than you used to?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
To be honest with you.
That's good. And what do you think the reason for that is?
Well, I've you know, learned how to run a business.
Okay.
You know, I mean, just, following some simple business principles, staying the course, having those goals, and not getting discouraged when you don't hit them. And then being able to sit back and reflect on all the positive stuff that did come out of it, even though you didn't hit your goal.
Right.
And when you look back at it, being able to say, all right, I know I need to do a little bit better. You know?
So you work less, your quality of life's better. In what way is your quality of life better?
Just a lot less stressful. I've got a team of people. I don't think I have one person on my team that was with me when we first started.
Yeah, shout out to Mike Bass.
Yeah, Mike Bass.
So I'm going to see if...
And Mary, I can't forget Mary.
No, you can't. Mary was there too. Yep. So it's two people. So, but Mary had a kind of a part-time role in the beginning, didn't she?
She did.
And then made some changes, and Mary stepped up, and she kind of keeps stuff together around there.
She does.
So let me see if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. Obviously, Jack, Mary, Mike. Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna do it from my perspective on Monday mornings. Tim Booker, Justin
Horton,
John
Phillips, Johnny Boy,
Tim Wright, not that Tim Wright, a different Tim Wright. I know two Tim Wrights now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I met the other Tim Wright.
Yeah. Tim Wright. Don't tell me. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm stuck on the end there. It's Tim Wright. We said Mike.
Yep.
Then Jack usually.
Yep.
Then the other side is Brendan was there last week.
Yeah, Brendan. Yep.
Okay.
Cousin Brendan.
And then who do we hold on, don't tell me. Derek.
Yep. Want me to do some sound effects?
No.
Tick tock, tick tock.
I know it was Sean.
Yep.
Okay. Jeff and Nick. Who did I forget? Pete. So I got everybody. Anyway, so yeah, you do have a good team, and we just had lunch. Shout out to D's Mediterranean Grill in Waco, Texas. We just had some lunch, and best falafel ever.
First time I had falafel.
What'd you think?
It was really
best
good.
You've ever had.
The best I've ever had.
So, all right. So, you got a great team. I was just asking about that, about the stability of your team. And, when we first started working together, your company went from you to two journeyman electricians, and then Mike came on.
Yep.
Right before that.
Yep.
And that was he came on in November of 2017.
Yeah, I think the day I got back from training down here was the Monday I got back was the Monday he started.
Okay, so that would have been November of 2017.
Yep.
And so probably within 6 months, you had like 8 guys working for you.
Yeah.
But then there's been some turnover.
Yeah.
And that's a revelation.
That's a hard part. Yeah. That's a revelation.
That, hey, you don't just hire the right ones the first time.
No, you don't. Kind of like what I was saying earlier, you reflect back and, okay, this person left, and why did they leave? Is it a management issue, or is it, what could I have done better? And I realized how I could have hired better with every person that has gone, I was on that plane here. I was thinking about it even more, like recruiting, like an onboarding, like things that I'll do to improve our onboarding. We have our new hires just read the employee handbook by themselves. And one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go over it with them.
Right.
I'm going to set the expectation, and those are things that I used to be afraid to do as a business owner, and used to be afraid to tell people what I wanted done and how I want it done. And it just realized that, like, you don't have to be, the Gestapo about it, but if you go about it tactfully and, motivate right. And
I would say that what you've done is something that if you're listening to this and you're an owner, you need to do this too if you haven't already. And if you want to know if you have or haven't, call me, I'll tell you. But one thing that I've seen in going around the businesses all over the place is I see so many times owners that are, I mean, if you really want to use harsh terminology, held hostage by their employees and their customers. And so one of the things, or at the very least, if they're not held hostage, they've given up control of their business to their employees and their customers. Now, you might be thinking, well, you know, you should be there for your employees. And yeah, your customers, without your customers, you wouldn't be in business. That's true. But I think what you've done is you've done what I always say, which is business owners have to take control of their business back from their employees and their customers.
Yep.
And also, you have to see your business as an investment. And I'd say those are the two biggest changes I've seen in you from a general standpoint.
Yep.
And then also the way you change that, and you've had that mental shift. The way you make decisions in your business has completely changed.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything I do in my life is a little bit different now. I was telling you about it the other day. Like when I cook food at dinner time, instead of making 12 trips to the spice rack in the fridge, I lay everything out and there's pre-planning and thinking about it ahead of time. But yeah, like I was definitely being held hostage by some employees, and clients would do whatever the client wanted. It was time and material, it was one price. It's $1,000. Yeah, but I don't think I need this. And well, you do need that. Well, okay, I don't need this on that price, so I'm going to take that off. And
well, I can tell you, pricing is one area, and the type of jobs you take, and being able to say no. And when I was at your place, I think it was the last time I was there. When was there? July? I think it was.
Yeah, April.
I was at your place, and a customer called in and said, I need you to come look at my track lighting.
Yep.
But I have like a 20 some odd foot ceiling.
Yep.
And I don't think they were a customer of yours before. I think it was new.
They found us. Yep.
And I remember you and I were kind of talking about it, and I might have said something, but you got there on your own. And basically what it was what, 45 minutes away?
Yeah, it was downtown on Madison Street, so in the Loop. So it's set like 8-9 miles from our shop, but in Chicago, that's like 45 minutes or an hour.
And you there was no way a ladder was getting up there because of where this was. There was nothing to lean a ladder against.
Right. Can't.
And so you were going to have to get scaffolding.
Yep.
And the scaffolding was going to cost what? $2,500?
Well, the scaffolding I think was like $500. The sections of scaffolding we needed was $500. But
okay.
I figured we needed a guy to go pick it up, and two guys to go pick it up, and two guys to set it up. And the client didn't know what was wrong with the track lighting. And we said, well, we'll go in there. We'll set up it's going to be two guys. We'll set up the scaffolding. We'll do a diagnostic of whatever's going on up there. And we'll tell you if we can fix it while we have the scaffolding up there, we'll fix it for you. But if we can't fix it, we'll leave the scaffolding up there and we'll get the right parts to fix it.
But you told her she would have to pay for the scaffolding.
Yep.
To me, that was the first, maybe that's the one I remember the most, where I could tell the mentality had changed.
Yeah.
On that.
Yeah. So the number you're thinking, I did tell Mary, I go, it's $3,000 for us to come set up this, two guys to come down, set up the scaffold, do a diagnostic, and also included a minor repair if we could fix it that day while we were there.
Because I think there was parking involved, and it wasn't just parking a van.
Right.
It was parking a truck.
Yep.
Like a flatbed or something with the scaffolding. And I thought, yeah, a little boy's growing up.
Felt good too, because she ended up not calling us, and
But look,
I think back in the old day, maybe, well, let me see if I can figure it out, or just go down there on my own time. And
right.
No, we don't do that anymore.
So here's another interesting way, or another way I can tell that you've taken control of your business back, is tell everybody what you drive.
I drive a Ford Escape now.
And I busted him the other day. A couple of weeks ago, I busted you hard. I have busted you hard because Jack used to drive a truck, and he had the toolbox and he had the stuff in it, and he would catch calls here and there. And so he said something about the Escape, and we were looking. I know what it was. We were looking at financials,
Probably.
We were looking at financials, and we
Do
were
that a
looking at the balance sheet. And remember, we seen where you got 2 Escapes this year, right? Remember, we were talking about that.
Yep.
And one of them Mike drives.
Yep.
And one of them you drive, but they're branded, they're wrapped,
Yep,
right?
they are.
And I said, so those Escapes have a pretty big hatchback on them there, Jack, don't they? He's like, yeah. I said, big enough to hold tools and a few parts, right? He goes, yeah, my tool bag and parts. I got some parts. And then that's when you busted, you realize what you were saying. Because the reason you did that was so you wouldn't be in the field anymore.
Yeah.
And so you could work on that business.
Yep, exactly.
And so there's still that pull of carrying the tools.
Yeah, I know.
Was still there.
Well, I walked to work for a month and a half this summer. It's like I gave my pickup truck to one of my managers. I'm like, I'm holding out.
Uphill,
walk.
both ways, 6 miles.
I'm like, I'm doing this. And then it's just like, all right, I need a set of wheels to get around. But I mean, that could speak to the amount of time that I've gotten back. You know, half-hour walk there, half-hour walk back. So
that's good.
Yeah.
So currently, how many journeyman electricians do you have on the road? How many individual trucks do you have on the road with guys producing?
We have
he loses count. This is how much it's changed.
We have Mike and I have Escapes. Justin has a pickup truck, and then we have a service change van that is a specialty truck.
Yep.
Just for that. So we've got 10 vehicles now. And then
six of them are producers.
Six and a half.
Yeah. And so based on the KPIs and stuff for the business, we know that the capacity for Arnold Electric is about $2.5 million in sales.
Yep.
And so that's our target next year.
Our target is 2.5 next year. We think that there's probably about a 2.5 to 3 million capacity with the crew and infrastructure we have. Okay.
And so there's a lot of ways that I've seen change, and the numbers and stuff now, and you think about that kind of stuff, and it's just really cool to see. But tell everybody and I sent you a picture from last year on this.
Oh yeah.
Tell everybody what your goal for or your long-term goal for Arnold Electric is. We know it's 2.5 to 3 million in terms of sales, and there's other things too. And remember, this is a guy here who implemented flat rate pricing, a color-coded checklist, options presentation, and a membership in 1 month.
Boom.
Yeah. You see, for those who are in the video, Jack had thick, wavy hair before he did that. And now he's not got much.
I still use shampoo though.
It's muscle memory at this point, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right. So tell everybody what's the BHAG for Arnold Electric?
The BHAG for Arnold Electric is $20 million in the next 10 years.
Okay. So by 2020, or no, by 2030, sorry, we're in 2020.
Yeah.
2030, a $20 million company.
Yep. Only electrical,
right?
The picture you sent me the other day, I was like this, that, and the other with electrical, and then it was HVAC and plumbing, like a home service company. I mean, that's still rolling around in my mind a little bit, but I really want to focus on this because I don't know. Are there any? I'd like to know if there's any companies out there that are listening right now that have an electrical department.
Yeah.
Over 20 million.
Oh no, not that I know of. I mean, I'm sure there's companies out there, but the companies that we have in our portfolio with the Service Excellence, we've got. I can think of several that have electrical departments, but none of them that big. That's a very large electrical company. And we were again talking at lunch about how, or maybe it wasn't lunch. I don't know when it was, but we're talking how in the electrical business, there tends to be a lot of more guys that it's just them in a truck.
Yeah.
Or a couple people in a truck because that just seems to be the model, right? Unless you're going to do commercial or unless you're going to do construction. Speaking of that, here's another way that I see that you've made a change in how your decision-making is we won't say the company because it's not a bad company. It's just, it didn't work for you. But there was a home builder, and you had asked me, should I get into this? And the same thing I said is, I don't know. Let's run the numbers. right?
Yep.
Remember, we ran the numbers.
Yep.
We did it on the whiteboard in one of our Zoom meetings. And you had your numbers down and you said, you know what? We looked at it, and yes, it was going to be profitable at the volume you were going to do that work. It was going to give you a place where you could train an apprentice.
Yep.
You know, just in the basic skills of being an electrician and
production
installing.
housing.
Exactly.
Yep. So same thing over and over. Yep.
And so the goal, I think, what was the total revenue on that going to be?
I think it was going to be another $250,000.
That's what I was thinking. I had 260 in my head for some reason. And so, but that was over a year.
Yeah.
And so that would have really put us over $2 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and see, that's the thing is because you got to, how many did you do?
We did 1 4-unit townhouse and
how many were you supposed to do?
We had
I think
30 buildings.
Well,
30 units, 6 buildings.
Right. And then when did you start that project?
Started that project. Well, of course, it was supposed to start earlier than it did, and started in July, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then when did you decide you weren't going to do it anymore?
Like the second day into it. No, maybe it wasn't quite that soon, but just I went into it like not feeling right in my stomach about it, but I just felt like that is something that I needed to do because I needed to do it all. I didn't have my goals and vision aligned, maybe. But you know, Mike Bass, my manager, even said, like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, let's do it." Man.
Pretty sure I said, "Are you sure you want to do it too?"
Yes, you did.
But yeah, but you made the numbers work, and if you could hit the numbers, it was okay. Yeah. But what you found was just too much headache. And it wasn't bad people involved. It's just the way that stuff goes sometimes. You know, slow paying, not because they don't want to pay you, just because they're slow paying, and it's a national company, and sometimes that just slows things down. And you decided to pull the plug on it.
Yeah, and they control the numbers too.
Yeah,
you know, like you always taught me that. Like, don't get involved with somebody else or some other third party thing where they're controlling. You know, where they have that much control over it.
Yeah, and here's the amazing thing: is how many buildings was it? 6?
Yeah.
So was it like $40,000 a building?
Yeah, that's what it was working out to be.
So just so we're clear, you walked away from $220,000 in revenue.
I did.
And some people are like, "Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy." But you know what? Let me tell you one more thing that I've learned. In addition to you got to take your business back from your employees and your customers. The other thing I've learned, and I've seen one of my best friends in the world do this, you know, he built a house about 11 years ago, and his business just went down from going from one of the best years he ever had in 2007 to 2008 was probably one of the worst years he had for a lot of reasons. But it was just a big distraction building a house. I've known companies that have built a new building for themselves. Yep. And the distractions, just crazy. And even if it's not catastrophic, because in none of these cases was catastrophic, but building that building, and I know one very recent, like the end of last year, things got delayed and this, that, and the other, and they were able to make an okay transition of it. But that's one of those things that either building a building or building a house, and the other piece of that is the big job.
Yep.
And you had the big job.
Yes, I had the big job syndrome.
And so that's what happened. So I see it over and over and over again. And you know what? The one thing that it's kind of like I can tell you 100 times not to do that. And I knew, and this is not me with some clairvoyance, just me with experience.
Yeah.
I knew you would probably come to the conclusion you didn't want to do it anymore, but you had to go do it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because that was the way that the lesson you would get it. If it didn't work out, that was the way you would know for sure is if you did it. And if it did work out, that's how you would know what you needed to do to repeat it later if you wanted to. So you had to do it.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, I don't know of many situations. I could probably count on one hand the situations where a business owner got distracted by something like that, building a house, building a building, or that big job where it actually worked out. And you went into it intelligently though, because you ran the numbers and as long as everything worked, then you were good with it. The sign of maturity on that is doing that. But the second sign of that was when it wasn't working very early, you did not let it ride to see what would happen.
Yep.
You decided early, too much distraction, pulling the plug.
Yep.
And so again, if you're out there and you're thinking about the big job, or you're in the middle of the big job, number one, I'm sorry, because if you're in the middle of it by now, it's probably too late. Make the best of it. Get out.
Yep.
But be wary of getting into that, because I think one of the things I said was that's not your lane. Your lane is in-home service.
Yeah, right.
Residential
exactly.
electrical service,
Yep.
upgrades, panel changes, service upgrades, and those kind of things, rewires, maybe even remodels to a certain extent, but definitely not new construction housing where you put one guy on a unit and he goes there with a helper every day for a month.
Yeah, right. No.
And so that, again, is another way that you've changed. And I could say the Jack today is a completely different business owner than the Jack I first met.
Cool. I agree with that 100%.
Okay. And so with Arnold Electric, I'm bleeding somehow. I think, I don't know. Maybe it's just wisdom leaking out.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what it is. Loudermilk would agree if he were here.
Oh, yeah.
You know he would. So you've done this before, but by the way, we'll do that at the end. You've done this before, but I'm going to ask you to do it again, because it's probably been, what, a year since we did one of these? 8 months?
Yeah, at least 8 months.
Okay. So if you had, other than what I've said, we've talked about, take your business back and watch out for the big job and all these other things we've talked about. What is something that you want to tell other business owners out there, no matter what size? What is something that it's either something you live by, something you've learned that you think everybody should know, something like that? What's something like that you have for everybody?
I don't know.
I put you on the spot.
Yeah, you did.
Hey.
Well, you're not alone, first of all. Whatever you're going through, you're not alone. And, the information is out there for you to figure out how to do what you want to do and have a successful business. And I would tell you, you need to write goals down, and you need to come up with a mission, a vision, and some core values. And you need all those to help guide you. There's no silver bullet.
No.
It's the little 3% tweaks. We've talked about that a lot lately, but it's nobody just gets handed a silver platter, and you're in the right place at the right time because you're doing all the right things. That's how that happens.
Yeah.
So that's what I would tell the other business owners out there. Just start doing and write those goals down and get some groundwork laid.
So here, we're going to make sure you speak directly into the microphone when you say the next part.
Okay.
So tell everybody about your family. Because Jack is just like Jack's some single guy who's got plenty of time to do whatever he wants to do. How many kids do you have, Jack?
I have 4 boys.
What did you call them?
Boys?
No. What did you say they were? Irish quadruplets?
Yeah. Irish quadruplets. 4 boys, 4 years, and 4 days apart.
Okay. What are their names?
Raymond, or Ray, depending
Ray.
on who you ask, is he's 3, be 4 in April. Duffy is 5. He's he's 4. He's turning 5 this month. Dennis, 6. He'll be 7 in July, and then Liam is 7. He'll be 8 in April.
Okay, and I've been there a couple of times. Had dinner with your boys.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure they were eating off of upturned Hooters Frisbees.
Yes, they were.
Plates.
You gotta
air quote the plates.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta stack them like that.
So tell me who the brains of that operation is.
The brains of the operation of the household?
Yes.
Oh, my wife, Sarah, for sure.
Yeah. So, and you were telling me at lunch, I knew, I just couldn't remember the type, but Sarah's an oncology nurse.
She's a oncology nurse. She works at Northwestern Memorial downtown Chicago.
They don't sponsor the podcast either, but they could.
No, they don't.
All right, and we're going to leave it with a treat and you're going to have to do your best for the people who aren't watching the video. Show everybody what's on your forearm. So it is a picture of Jack's grandfather, and he's dressed only in combat boots and a grass skirt. And Jack found this picture, and he had it tattooed on his forearm, and it's his grandfather from World War II, right?
Yep.
Is there more of a story behind it?
He was stationed in the Philippines during World War II, and in the picture there's Army tent barracks behind it. The day after I got it done, I was on a big commercial job site, not with not doing Arnold Electric yet, or maybe I just started. The foreman came up to me. It was like 90 degrees out, and he comes up to me and he's like, what's with the long sleeve shirt, Arnold? I go, I got a tattoo. I'm just trying to protect it. He goes, oh, let me see it. And he looks at it. He goes, huh, pretty awesome. And he goes, I bet he wasn't too lit up when that picture was taken. And I'm like, I never knew my grandpa to drink. But I'm like, it dawned on me that, yeah,
Jack,
probably had a
as I
couple.
said, he's dressed only in combat boots and a dress skirt. I'm pretty sure that's alcohol induced.
Never dawned on me until that moment that, yeah, he probably was.
All right. Now tell everybody, last thing, tell everybody something about Jack we'd be surprised to know.
I don't know. I'm a pretty open book. So.
You play hockey?
I do. I play ice hockey. I played 2 hours in a tournament yesterday.
And I know something. We're going to end on this. Jack thought he was the real Slim Shady when he was
stand up. Please stand up.
Well, how old were you in that picture I saw? You were at the back.
Oh, I was 18. Yeah, I was in Philmont Scout Ranch. I'm an Eagle Scout. Maybe that's one thing somebody wouldn't know, but I was in Philmont Scout Ranch. Yeah, me and my brother and my buddy dyed our hair blonde.
Mm-hmm. Book shell necklace
or whatever. White T-shirts.
Well, everybody, that's Jack Arnold. If you've never seen Jack, if you're not watching the video, find the video. Jack's a great guy. He's fun to hang out with. We're going to do some hanging out this weekend.
Yep.
But like you said, he's an open book. Jack, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
You can feel free to email me at jack@arnoldelectricchicago.com, or you can send me a text message or call me. My cell phone number is 312-343-3781.
All right. And like always, if you need help with anything you've heard from us, give me a call, 254-733-7109, or text me and say, hey, can we talk? I get those from time to time, every other week or so. Be happy to talk to you. At Service Excellence Training, we are not high pressure sales or any of that kind of stuff. And it's just information. Because, hey, as a friend of mine says, there's no secrets left in the trades. It's about execution. Yeah. So I don't have any secrets to keep from you. So if you want to talk, 254-733-7109, or you can email me at elmore, ELMORE, at servextra.com, SERVEXTRA.com, which is also our website, www.servextra.com. Go there because I'm bringing up the dates now. Our next tech series and sales series classes, January 20th through 22nd in Austin. There's still space available for that. Also, CSR and Manager Series happen the 23rd through 24th in Austin. All this happens at the same place, beautiful hotel called the Sonesta in Bee Cave, Texas, just outside of Austin. Great food around there, a great place to stay, and a great place for sessions. So if you're not signed up, get signed up because we want to see you there. And now we'll put Jack on the spot again. Well, Jack.
I'm sending a guy down there too. I want everyone to know that I was down at that hotel, and it is a pretty sweet place.
Yep. And now, we do the session there now.
Yeah. Oh, they're all there?
They're okay. At the hotel now too. So
yeah, Jeff is going to be down there. So look out for my guy, Jeff Murray.
Good old Jeff.
That's who we forgot.
Who?
Earlier.
No, I said Jeff.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now you're going to put me on the spot. Put me on the spot.
So Jack, what do we do at Service Excellence Training?
We turn learning into earning, baby.
All right, everybody. Peace out.
Peace out.